Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you guys my 15 and pregnant story. In case you're new to my channel, my name is Claudia. I am 26 years old and I had my first son when I was 15. Before we get started, you guys, by any means I am not trying to promote teen pregnancy. As I went through it myself, I know how difficult it is. But yeah, if you want to just know my story of how I found out I was pregnant and how I told my parents and just how life was, you know, being 15 with the baby, and then how a baby changed my life. So yeah, you guys, if you want to know my story, just stay tuned and I'll share it with you. Alrighty you guys, so let's just get started with the story. So it all happened the day that I met my boyfriend at that time. I was 14 and he was 16, and we met at my 8th grade promotion. So after that we started talking, and then, you know, after the promotion I started going to high school. So I was already in 9th grade in a charter school. So me and him were just talking on the phone, you know, and just talking back and forth. So we did not see each other at all during those months, and then after that he just asked me to be his girlfriend. So I had really strong feelings for him. Even though we did not see each other, I just had really a lot of feelings for him. So after I became his girlfriend and all, he moved to that school. So then now we were able to see each other. So and then, you know, at that time my birthday was just around the corner, so I was gonna have my quinceañera. So he was gonna be the chambelán, and then I had my really good friend that, you know, till this date she's still in my life. So she was gonna show us the whole dance and all that. So we will go to my house, you know, and all three of us will be together all the time. So he became really good friends with her, and then we were just always together, even on my practices. So, you know, after, you know, we were just having our practices every day, she was there, so we were never left alone. So yeah, so after that, after my quinceañera, me and him decided, you know, to go to ditch school, and that was when it happened. So me and him, you know, had unprotected sex. So, you know, when you have unprotected, you obviously go through some consequences, and getting pregnant is one of them. So I did, you know, got pregnant that time. It only took one time. That's all it takes. So a couple weeks later, you know, I started feeling sick, and I was just not feeling myself. But it did not go through my mind that I could be pregnant, you know, because I mean, I don't know, I was just like, okay, you know, one time I don't think I will get pregnant. So, oh, I can't talk right now. At that time, me and my good friend from high school started working at the McDonald's inside Walmart. So we were both working, you know, and I started telling her, you know, I feel sick, I feel this kind of feelings, and it just never felt them before. So she asked me, are you pregnant? And I told her, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know, you know, I don't think I am. So she's all, have you had sex with Louis? And I told her, yeah. She's all like, well, maybe you are pregnant. And I'm like, no, you know, I don't think so. I mean, it's just I probably ate something that, I don't know, I was just trying to make excuses. So she's all like, well, you know, during our break we can go to Walmart and get a pregnancy test, and then you can find out if you are. And I'm like, okay. So during our break we went to Walmart, we got the pregnancy test, and then we did self-checkout, and then after that we went to the restroom and I took the pregnancy test, and it came off positive. So at that moment I just went in shock, you know, because it was not what I was expecting. I mean, yeah, duh, you know, you're doing that, so obviously you're gonna get pregnant, but I mean, I was just not looking forward to that. Obviously, who does, you know, at 15? But anyway, so I tell her, yes, you know, it is positive. So she starts, oh my god, you know, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna tell your parents? I'm like, I don't know, you know, I don't know. I'm still trying to, you know, let this sink in that I'm pregnant. So she tells me, well, you know what, you should call him and tell him that you are pregnant. So I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I called him and I tell him, hey, I'm pregnant. So he's all like, what? No, you're not. Quit lying. You're playing with me, huh? So he didn't believe me at that time. So I'm like, yes, I am. I just took the pregnancy test and it came out positive. So then I give the phone to my friend and she's all like, congratulations, you're gonna be a dad. So she's all happy, you know, because that's just her. She's happy all the time. So, and then at this, you know, at this moment, he believes me. So after that, he believes me. He's all like, well, you know, don't worry, because we're just gonna have to figure something out. And so yeah, so I'm like, okay, you know, I'm just like thinking, how am I gonna tell my parents? I mean, because you cannot hide a pregnancy for too long. So he's like, well, we'll have to, you know, find a way to tell them and all this stuff. So after that, you know, the next day we went to school and all that. So we were able to talk more. So the same question, you know, how am I gonna tell my parents? That was the only thing that was, you know, in my head. How am I gonna tell them? It wasn't much of how we're gonna take care of the baby or anything. It was just how I'm gonna tell them. So not once in my mind cross, you know, aborting the baby. Never in my whole, you know, pregnancy, whatever. It just never crossed my mind. So that was not an option for me. Okay, so after that, you know, we were just talking and he's all like, well, you know what, don't worry, because obviously I'm gonna have to just go to work, and don't worry, you know, we got this. So it's funny because, you know, even to this day when we have our problems and struggles, that's the one, those are the words that come out of his mouth, you know, don't worry, we got this, we'll figure something out. So he told me that, you know, and I'm like, okay. So I kind of felt it, you know, I felt it okay. I felt that I was not alone. That, you know, that thankfully he was going to be by my side. So months, you know, start going by, and obviously my stomach started growing, and I started my cravings and all this stuff. And I remember that one thing I would crave like so much was fruit. I would just crave fruits, you know, that was just one thing that I would crave a lot. And then, you know, we were at school, so I started throwing up. I remember that one time that I started throwing up, and you know, I ran outside of the class, and then yeah, I just started puking all over the floor. And that's when, you know, everybody started talking, you know, she's pregnant. And then because I was at a charter school, so everybody knew each other. So we all knew each other there. So I couldn't, you know, hide it from, everybody knew that what was happening. So after that, you know, everybody starts questioning and making rumors that I am pregnant and all that. So it got to my counselor's ears. So then she comes to me and my boyfriend, and she asked me, hey, you know, are you pregnant? So at that moment, you know, I'm already like 4 or 5 months. So I'm like, yes, I am, you know, I'm not gonna lie. So she tells me, well, you know, we cannot have you in here if we don't have some kind of paper and documents from your doctor and all this, you know, in case anything was to happen here. The school cannot be responsible. She started telling me all this, you know. So she asked me, does your parents know? And I just started crying. I couldn't, you know, I mean, you're pregnant and your hormones are just all over the place. You cry for anything. So I was just very sensitive. So, I mean, I'm sensitive as it is, so just pregnant, you know, it just makes it worse. So I just started crying. So, and then she saw like she doesn't, right? And I'm like, no, they don't know. So she's like, well, you know, we're gonna have to let them know, because we can't have you at the school like that. So I'm like, okay. So I'm just crying, you know, and just crying. So now it's like, you know, reality hit me. They're gonna find out. And you know, I was already 4 or 5 months, so my parents did not know. I don't know if my mom ever thought, you know, that I was expecting. I mean, because I don't know if she kept track of my periods or not, you know, because she would buy my pads and stuff. So I don't know. My dad, he was always working. We will only see him during the weekend, and you know, sometime like because he had 2 jobs, so he had to support us. And yeah, so my mom would work in the mornings, and she still had my 3 little brothers that she had to take care of. So I don't know, it was just everything. And then my mom and my dad were having problems at that time, so it was just a combination of everything. So it was just too much going on. So after that, you know, the advisor, she calls my mom and she tells her, you know, we need to talk to you. So is there a time that you are able to come to the school, and you know, we need to have a conversation in regards Claudia. So my mom, you know, she's still like, well, yeah, what time do you want me to be there and stuff? And the advisor tells her, well, after school work for you. So she said, okay. So my mom, you know, after the end of the school, I'm like so nervous at this time, you know, during school, because we're still at school. So I was just nervous, and now I'm just trying to prepare myself for this big moment, because I mean, the big moment is about to happen. So after that, you know, my mom, it's 3 o'clock, so my mom goes to the school, and we're all in one room, me, my boyfriend, couple teachers, and the advisor, and we're just in one room with my mom. So she just starts looking, you know, at all of us, and she starts asking, so what's going on, you know, what did you do? She tells me that, and I'm like, I didn't do nothing, you know. So she's asking the teacher, so what's going on, tell me, you know. So she starts already panicking. Then the advisor, she asked me, do you want to tell them, or do you want me to tell them? And then, you know, I mean, I don't think it was her job to tell her, but I told her, you know, I'll tell her. So she's so like, my mom, you know, she starts, what's going on? Dime qué está pasando, you know, porque que me están asustando. So she was already freaking out and getting scared. So I tell her, Mom, you know, I'm sorry, but I'm pregnant. And she starts freaking out, starts yelling at me, and then I don't know, she starts crying, and then she starts getting, yeah, crazy, you know. So my boyfriend was still there, so she tried to, you know, she got up and she tried to slap my boyfriend. So I don't know, it was just too much going on that day. So because of the teachers were there, you know, I was kind of thankful that they were there, because otherwise I don't know what would have happened. So it was just too much that day. So after that, you know, we just went home. I was crying in tears because I broke my mom's heart, you know, at this moment. It just, I don't know, it was just difficult. It was the hardest thing I have ever experienced, you know, just telling my mom the big news. That was just, oh my goodness. And I still had to worry about my dad, because my dad didn't know at this moment, you know, because he was at work. So on our way home, I'm riding with her in the car, so she's still telling me stuff that, how can I do this to her? How can I do this? You know, she expected me to do so much with my life, that how can I just do this? And she started telling me so many stuff that they're still in my head, you know, and it's sad. But so after that, you know, we get home and she starts calling my dad. So I went to my room, you know, and I just started crying. I was just crying, like I was under my covers in my bed crying. So my mom, you know, she calls my dad, and then my dad, a couple minutes later, he shows up at home and he tells me what's going on, you know, qué está pasando, and all this stuff. He starts telling me, you know, like, what's going on, tell me. So I'm like, I'm sorry, you know, that's the only thing I could say. I'm sorry. I mean, nothing that I said matter, because, you know, it's already done, so there's nothing for me to do. So all I remember was saying, I'm sorry I let you down, I'm sorry. And that's all. That was all, the only words that will come out of my mouth, you know, which is so immature, I mean, because I don't know. But anyways, so, you know, my dad's with me in my room, and my mom's still yelling at me, and just she started telling me all this stuff, that to forget, you know, that forget that she's gonna be taking care of the baby, and then forget for me to get anything, you know, that not to ask her for anything, because she's done, I'm no longer her responsibility, and all this stuff, you know. She starts telling them, my dad, he's just trying to calm her down. So he's all like, you know, he was you know, telling her, you need to stop, you know, she's still our daughter, so nothing's gonna change that, no matter what you know, what she's going through. We cannot leave her alone. And my dad, you know, he's always been so supportive, and he's always been so supportive. Like, I'm so grateful for my dad, because even till this day, you know, he's always there for us. But anyways, oh my goodness. So anyways, you know, he starts telling me not to, you know, don't worry. I mean, obviously this is not what he wanted for me, but it's already done, and I'm still his daughter. And you know, now we have a baby. I have a baby inside of me that I need to take care of, and just, you know, we'll figure something out. And so he starts asking me, you know, is you know, your boyfriend going to be responsible for the baby? And you know, and I told him yes, he is. He's like, okay, well, you know, I need to talk to him, and I need to talk to his mom and his dad and all this, because we need to find what's gonna happen. So I'm just crying there, you know, just in my bed. So after that, he leaves my room, and my brother Daniel, he's 10 years old at that time. So they were in the trampoline, you know, because we had a trampoline. So he fell off of it, and he broke his shoulder, and I don't know. And so yeah, so my brother, he broke his shoulder, so they had to take him to the hospital, and all this was going on, you know. So that day, it was definitely the worst day for my parents, you know, because they had me with the bad news, and then they had my brother as well. So anyways, after, you know, that, you know, I think the next day after that, you know, my dad starts calling the clinic. So he's trying to find me a doctor to see how far along am I, and just, you know, to start my prenatal care. So he calls and he schedules the appointment, and he was the one that was by my side, you know, I mean, besides obviously my boyfriend, but he was the one that was there. And you know, I mean, my mom, you know, since, I mean, she's like, I'm a girl, so I would have expected my mom to, I mean, I know she was still mad and all, but I mean, at least be there, you know, for me. I don't know, like, I don't know. It was like, I expected her, you know, to go with me to the appointments, and just to tell me, you know, what to expect, what kind of changes are gonna happen, and just what to look forward to. But that didn't happen. My mom did not talk to me for 2 months after, you know, like, she did not talk to me at all. So I was still going to the school, and that's the only time I would see my boyfriend. I know, weird, but I was still going there, you know. And so yeah, so now my dad, you know, he had scheduled the appointment, so we were gonna go to the appointment. So they scheduled me, and then we went in, me and my dad, we went. And I mean, that's when, you know, they did the ultrasound to see how far along I was, and they did all this whole different testings, because I was already too far from my pregnancy, you know, so they have to do so many things in one day. So yeah, so everything happened, you know. And then my dad, he paid for my prenatal care, and I think, I don't know, but so that happened. So I went home, you know, we went home, and we found out already that I was 5 months. So because I was so far, you know, they had to do, like I said, they had to do so many things that, like, all my appointments were literally like one after the other. So that was that. And then, you know, we went home. So my boyfriend's mom and dad were coming to the house and to talk to my mom and my dad. And I mean, I don't know, like, I think, you know, I don't know. But anyway, so my boyfriend and his family, they came over to the house, and I was sitting like completely on the opposite side of where they were sitting. I mean, I don't know, now I'll think about it, I'm like, how come I was not next to him, you know? But anyway, we were like separate, like right across from each other. So it was like their team against my team, you know? It was just so awkward that day. But so my dad, you know, he starts talking to his mom and his dad, so all this stuff of what do they think about, you know, what should we do and all this stuff. And you know, I remember his dad said, well, don't worry, you know, because he's gonna be responsible for the baby and Claudia, and not to worry, because they're not gonna leave me. that was, you know, the mom and his dad. So the same for him. So he was like, yeah. So, well, my mom was still mad at this point, you know. So she's just, yeah. She was, I mean, she was not being disrespectful, but she was not being nice either. So after that, I mean, that happened. And we were just, I mean, obviously me and my boyfriend would talk on the phone still, and we will see each other at school. And that was literally about it. And we were not living together just yet. So after, you know, I mean, everybody at school, they already know that I'm pregnant, we're pregnant. And they would just look at me, and I don't know, like, I mean, you could feel them, you know, you could feel them talking about you. And even when I was to go to the store or do anything, everybody would just look at me because, I mean, obviously I was young. I mean, I looked very young, you know, and then with the little belly popping. So my family, you know, of course they knew as well. And I mean, everybody knew at this time. My friends, everybody just knew. So I got a lot of, what are you gonna do, you know, what are you thinking, you're so young to have a baby, and just so many things, you know. It was just all, like, I was already, you know, going with my mom, like, was going through, I mean, obviously, you know, I was already going through the whole thing, just the whole fact that I'm pregnant. And then just to hear people telling me all this different stuff, you know, that so many people, even my own mom doubted me, you know, that I was gonna finish school. So she even, you know, even her, she thought that I was just ruined, like my life was ruined pretty much because I got pregnant. So but anyways, that's a whole different thing. So after, you know, a couple months later, my mom finally starts talking to me. So it's already been 2 months after they found out. So I'm already 7 months. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so I'm already about 7 months pregnant. Yeah, because it's been 2 months after that. So she starts talking to me little by little. But okay, so I'm still 15, you know, and my mom, like, literally, she kept her word that she was not gonna buy me anything, you know. And it's just like, I don't know, I mean, obviously I did not expect it for her, you know, to do so, but I mean, I was growing out of my clothes, you know, like, hello. But anyways, thankfully my boyfriend, he had a job. So he had a job at this, now he had a job and he was going to school too. So I remember, you know, like, his first check that he gave me the his first check, you know, he gave it to me so that I was able to buy myself some stuff, and as well for the baby. So that's how we started getting our stuff together. So I don't know, but I don't know, it hurted me, like, you know, we would go to the stores, like, because now my mom was, you know, talking to me, so we would go to the stores and she would not buy me anything, like, at all. So it was just, I mean, my dad was different, but, and I don't know, it was just very emotional moments that I went through. I mean, my whole pregnancy was just emotional. Like, it was not like a, like, you know, like a pregnant, like a normal pregnancy, but obviously, I mean, when you're young and anyways. Oh my goodness, I didn't know where to cry. But okay, so yeah, so that happened. I mean, so we're still in high school, and now I have my husband, my boyfriend, he's working, so everything is okay, you know, falling together. So finally, I hit 8 months, and my mom at this moment, she's planning my baby shower. So she went all out on that, on her baby shower, you know. She went all out. She had a whole DJ and the tacos, and just, she went completely out, you know. But she was still not over the fact that I was pregnant. But I mean, she was more, she was better. So I will see my boyfriend, you know, now, like, I was allowed to go with him, you know, like, his mom will pick me up and then I will go with him. I mean, because what else could happen? I mean, so yeah, so now we're just waiting for the big day, you know, for our baby to get here. So I went to my appointments, you know, every week now, just to check on the baby and all that. So everything was good, to thank God, you know, because one thing that I do regret, you know, through my pregnancy, I mean, even though I went through the whole situation with my mom, I still regret not being able to tell her way before, when it first happened, because I neglected my baby. Like, something could have went wrong and I would have just not know, because I didn't know what was normal and what wasn't, you know. So I mean, it was my first time, so I just regret that so much, because I neglected my baby's health. I was not taking the prenatal vitamins and all that, you know, until I was already 5 months. And you know that the vitamins are so essential for when they're little, when they're barely forming, so their brains could develop right and everything. So that's one thing. Another thing that I do regret, you know, because I neglected my baby's health, and if something were to happen, I would have been so responsible for it, because I didn't, you know, I didn't tell my parents, and they were yeah. So yeah, so now, you know, we're just, everything's good with the baby, thank God, like I said, and we're just waiting for the big day.